are new.
Those are flag-tail grunts, also from the Indo-Pacific. So this has been a very complicated build. And then there's a couple of tanks in the lab we've been doing. And the guys have really been working on the 2500, which is the big monster up in my office. Hi, Kaity Cichlids.
Hi, Andrew.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
It's been a year, right? You're in the city for some fighting, huh?
Yeah, for some boxing.
Some boxing.
Yeah, I'm not doing any boxing, but I'm going to be viewing some boxing. So I've got the Fins and Fury event to raise some money for Brian Barczyk. So you guys might have seen my video from just over a year ago. We came and we did a tour of the beautiful 17,000 gallon reef tank here, but we've got a few different updates to show you as well.
Well, Kaity, since you've been here, we're about to open 6 tanks, and 5 are in the 80% process, and 1 is probably in the 50% process. This new tank that you're looking at, this 900 drop down, this actually came in cracked first, so it took another 6 months, and then it had to be craned over the house. So this has been a very complicated build.
When I came here last year, this was a smaller tank.
With a 200-gallon cube.
Yes, which we'll go and see in a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was some really interesting deep sea fish in there. You know what's really fascinating about this too, is I didn't even really think about it because it just flows so effortlessly.
Drop down.
This is very unique. You don't see this a lot
No, you
where
don't.
it drops down. And it would be more difficult to grow corals in this deeper part, right?
Well, you would put the lower light ones down there.
Because in the Great Barrier Reef, or like a coral reef, do you know what's more typical? Like are most of the corals growing in a depth of that, or is this pretty normal actually?
This is pretty normal, except to get the par of the lights equivalent to this down all the way here, you would have to boost them up. But frankly, we're trying to put low light stuff down here.
Well, I don't know if you guys do this in the saltwater world, but in freshwater, we do biotope tanks.
Right.
Yeah, so you'll have a different theme from a certain area in the world.
Yes.
And make everything what's naturally occurring in
Correct.
that place.
Yep.
Do you guys do that in saltwater?
Well, we do it pet peeve wise, not as much in coral, but like there's not a single Caribbean fish in here.
Right.
Or an Atlantic Ocean fish. This is an indoor specific display. So yeah, I guess we do. And that cube that was there before was Hawaiian.
Oh, right.
Those were all Hawaiian fish. So we do them, and they're becoming more popular.
And these fish here, these are new.
Those are flag-tail grunts, also from the Indo-Pacific. I got them when they were the size of my pinky, and they've probably tripled in size, and soon we'll be able to catch them on a hook and fillet them for dinner.
Really?
They get big. They get big.
So you're actually going to eat them?
No, I'm not going to eat them.
Well, so because they're like a schooling fish.
It's a schooling fish that's silver. That's pretty cool. That stays on top of the water. So it adds a little bit of a, I don't know what's the word, look down effect. You know, the silver look downs.
Do you reckon you get sharks ever, or is this not really appropriate for sharks?
I think they turn too fast. They'll knock down too many coral. They take too many nutrients.
Oh yeah, you've already got a shark.
Yeah, his name is Bruce.
That's all you need. You got Bruce up there.
What's the matter, Phoebe?
For you,
wanna
anyone
go
that's
out?
new to this too, I didn't kind of explain what's going on here because I just assumed that you might have seen the video or just seen this tank because it's all over social media. But so this is Andrew Sandler's Polo Reef tank, so that's his social media, which you can go check it out or link it all. But this is the main tank where it kind of all started, I guess,
Yeah.
like in terms of the social media stuff.
We just put in a system downstairs which is not fully working, which is supposed to take out the nitrogen gas with these membranes, triple M membranes, that lowers the gas pressure in the water.
Interesting.
And we don't even know how it works yet because it's not fully operational, but it's a little operational. That was really to help the fish's eyes because they get gas bubble disease or something like that in their eye. From excess nitrogen or even excess oxygen.
Because it's so deep as well? Like, is that like
No,
the
it just has to do with the 50-foot drops and the micro bubbles staying in the sump and then returning back and not enough degas.
So behind this tank, there is so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
So there's a whole team that works on it, but then also the sump is huge. Like it's not like
Correct.
a normal sump.
We'll go to the lab
Uh-huh.
where the stuff is already made. Can we feed the tank?
I would 100% trip over this if I lived
Yeah,
here one
by the
day,
way,
but-
we thought a lot about building it out and ramping it, and there was no good answers.
I would be fine most of the time. It would just take that one moment where I'm not thinking, and I would 100% stack it.
The big, for the big tank. Yeah. We, this is, how many pounds of food is this?
Probably like 4 pounds.
All right, so we defrost 4 pounds of food a day. We rinse it in the sink, and then we put it in the fridge, and that's what we feed the entire day.
I don't know if you can see it very well from where you are, but I'm gonna go up this ladder just here, and I'm gonna put 2 scoops of that food in. Let's do it.
This is the big scoop where you go from.
Oh,
You're gonna take a scoop from there, put it into here, and then it goes all the way up there.
yum. Like that. And just tip it.
Yep, just tip it in.
Whoa. Well, this will be officially the biggest fish tank I'll ever feed, I think. Oh
That's
my
that second
gosh.
one.
There. Back down the stairs.
So that was a typical feeding. We do that, I would say, 4 times a day. Plus, they get twice a day a lot of nori on a clip. And I don't mean 1 clip. We're talking about PVC pipe with 6 clips each and two nori pipes. So 12 clips and maybe 5 or 6 sheets of nori per clip. So there's a lot of nori being fed.
And what is nori?
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you this great technology that we've used for nori feeding. It's called a fishnet pole on a string with PVC pipe with plastic clips.
Does the job.
Does the job.
Practical.
These are the poles, Katie,
Nice.
right? And you can see this is the PVC with the clips, and he's loading them on now. Gets a little too crowded for them if you just do one. There it is.
Wow.
And we can control the depth of that by this string and rolling it and unrolling it. The angel's eating it, the parrotfish is even eating it.
That's awesome. It really brings out the big fish. It might be hard to tell how big the fish are on camera because the tank is so big too, but some of these fish are like a foot long or more.
Right.
Oh, this tank is really cool too. You probably won't be able to see them. I got some footage on my, oh, there's actually one out. I don't know if it will come up because it's very reflective. This tank's got some macroalgae.
That's macroalgae and
pipefish.
some pipefish.
Very cute pipefish.
We had a dragon seahorse that passed away from tuberculosis internal. And there was nothing with it. Apparently, they come with that a lot. And they only get them from northern Australia certain parts of the year. So I think in the winter is when they get them. And then this tank was the cube that replaced the 900 replaced. And we've been using it just as storage. So we have halide set up. We get an order of coral in, and it goes in here first. The vet checks it out. We do dips out of here. And as soon as we're done with the acros, this tank will be taken down. A new one will be built by Planet. It will be the same dimensions, but it will be significantly higher, so it will look like a cool deep water tank.
Nice.
This is on the new side. This started off as a work system where we kept peppermint shrimp to clean algae and aptasia off, and then we just finally it's such a cool, low, slick tank, so we just made it a mixed reef.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love these little fish.
And that's what made it different too. We don't have a lot of those in the house. They're damsels, but they're the nicer kind of damsels. They're not the blue devils. They're Springeri and Azores.
Yeah, they just pop.
Yeah, they just pop.
Yeah, I'd love to do a big shallow reef tank. It would be really cool having one that's almost like rock pools, where
Yep.
it's like huge, a peninsula one that you could walk around.
Yep. I tell people this is one of my favorites because I can.
Yeah, it's easy to get into.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you don't need a ladder.
And you don't need to feed them with a pole with a scoop
Yeah,
on the
it's very
end.
simple.
This one's good for a good inspiration for people if they didn't have a lot of space.
Yes, yes.
That
But
does
you know,
look beautiful.
keeping mixed reefs are a little tricky. Like The aqua need 200 par at the bottom, on top, and these things probably should have 100 par at the bottom. And there's not a lot of space of difference of water to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. And then last time we came here, I think there was all quarantine tanks or there was a rack system set up.
There were probably 250 gallon tanks here. And this one, well not this one, the old one, busted a seam. And we lost a lot of water. I'd say we lost half the coral. Saved half and had them rebuilt by Joe Glass Cages, and they're actually built a little higher. And this one I think is done pretty much. We may still add a couple of things here and there, but pretty happy with the scape and coral.
The ones that busted, how long, like how old were they before they did that?
Well, we had them used. We got them from someone's backyard, and we were so excited because they fit in the space. And I'll tell you right now, used tanks are a danger, especially ones that sit outside and so forth. They expand and contract so much with the silicone, and then all of a sudden you fill them again. And it all looks great and fine for 6 months until one day you walk down here.
That's why when I was a teenager, I used to get secondhand tanks, but then once I started working full time, that was the first thing I wanted to get, was I wanted to buy brand new tanks because I just wanted to know the whole history of the tank and everything that's ever happened to it.
There's too much contraction and expansion, I think.
And you just don't know how people have looked after something
I know,
either.
well that's that too.
I find that hilarious though that you would still buy secondhand tanks.
I knew the guy, they fit perfectly. And I think they were actually Marineland, which I mean, the fact that I actually bought Marineland used tanks, it was like one of the dumbest things I've ever done.
And so did you lose a lot when it happened?
No
or
fish,
did you?
no fish, because we kept all the coral in there. We lost some coral on the top.
Okay.
That was dry too long. We built these 4 quarantine tanks, and some of them are storage. This one is storage. There's nothing being treated in here. And there's some really nice things in here. Beautiful scolies, torches, trakes, plate corals. Those mushrooms are on fire. Some encrusting stuff that we're gonna put in the big tank. Pulling corals or cutting corals. They come from the main display or other displays, and they have Monte nudibranch pests. This piece came out of the 900. There was something on it. There were some flatworms on this piece and that piece. So this is our sick tank.
Your sick tank.
We had some things in here, but we just took them out and cleared out the deck a little bit. So we do have something open. If we bring in some coral, that's good. All these chalices came in. He wants to check that. These were bigonis that they've cut sponges out of. So the gonis are not so thrilled right now. Hopefully we don't have to cut more, and this will just come out again.
Just a small skimmer.
And since the last time, there's a lot more coral in this system for the 2500s or wherever.
Oh yeah, you've got the Yerples, is that what they're called?
Those are the Yerpul tanks.
tanks.
And they're interesting because a purple and a yellow would never meet in the wild, but Bali Aquaculture bred them.
Yeah, so they're very rare.
They're very rare, yeah.
Here is the computer that operates
This is,
it all.
but it controls the generators, it controls all the pump speed. Every one of these is connected to an engine.
It reminds me of when you see photos of the first ever computer that they created.
Yeah.
Like they're connected to the internet, and it was huge like this. And then you operate it all on this side of the door.
This is the computer interface.
Nice.
Where we can specifically, lights, those are the lights. Skimmers, how much flow is going through each skimmer, if I want to raise it or not. Surge valves, put them on auto on how many hours we want in the back. The insurance company is most concerned about that UV going on fire.
Oh.
Of all things.
Interesting.
That's the most dangerous thing in the house.
I didn't even think about insuring this.
These are for the 900-gallon drop down, most of these. Some wrasses, these hell freaky firefish. They'll be ready to come out of here this weekend. And there's some beautiful Japanese rare amphias. And this tank is kept between 68 and 70 degrees.
Yeah, this fish here is beautiful.
And it's a catamaya, the big one. And and the other one is Tostanos. There's another male Tostano right there.
Oh yeah.
This is our LPS tank that we swore we would never pull any piece from here, but in fact, we are pulling some things occasionally for the 900 drop down.
What type of coral is that?
That's a holy grail acanthal. Most expensive coral in this whole house.
Yeah, I think I saw it last time, but it's grown.
Yeah, it's
a
grown.
lot.
Yeah. And here's our clam tank, which is getting up and going. We've had some mixed results with some small clams dying, but frankly, we think getting better at it.
Yeah, so clams are beautiful, but
They're
Andrew
just
was
very
saying
difficult.
they're difficult and you can't really keep them with fish normally.
Oh, not really, because the fish pick at them. And then we have these fish, very rare Hawaiian Personatus angels.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, and they'll turn into males, will turn orange, the females will stay black and white. And I think we're gonna put them up in a 2500. Wanna go down?
Yeah, let's do it. So we're literally going into a basement.
Very loud down here. The biggest change is this sump is now working for my office. Water's coming down from my office and being filtered in this rotary drum filter. And it's a self-cleaning with RO water. It sprays itself. And then, you see, it's all new.
Oh yes, all new.
That's meant to take out the nitrogen gas. And then I'm going to show you the big sump. I don't know if you remember, but the tubes were on this side coming down into a box.
Yes.
That box was a whirlpool. What we did is we turned them up on this side like a tuba. And you can see the water hits atmosphere and the micro bubbles stay on top. They don't get sucked in again. And that's also helped lower the TGP. The other choice was to build a massive 8-foot degassing tower like bioballs and having water drip down the bioballs. Not a big deal, but we would have lost access to the sump.
Yes, this seems better. So now we can show you guys where these sumps actually connect to. And
What did you say? By the way, these are the dehumidification. We have about 5 of these in the house.
Yeah, oh yeah, you need them. With this much
People
water.
always ask, how do you keep the dehumidification, you know, and those are like size for Olympic swimming pool stuff.
Oh yeah.
A giant UV sterilizer.
Oh yes, the giant one.
Where we
down.
need, and we're about to change the bulbs again. We change them about every 8-9 months. And then the sleeves once a year.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they degrade, don't
Yeah,
they?
they get calcium on them and stuff.
And then what's all this stuff out
Well,
there?
this is the chillers and the dehumidification units. And
We didn't see this last time.
and the generators.
So there's a whole nother backyard. Oh, and you got just a bit of rock out there.
And there's a lot of live rock out there, which is not live anymore, but
No,
if we dumped it in a bucket with bacteria and seeded it, it would be live.
then it would be.
We still have to go to the koi.
Oh yeah.
The biggest change for the buck has been the vet being here twice a week. Not only does he check our corals, but he's injecting my koi fish. He's treating my koi fish. He even looks at my dog. He does dogs, cats, fish, and coral. Can you imagine that? If we get fish like those Yorpo tangs that I don't want to medicate, I could stick him in a tank for 2-3 weeks, and then he'll take skin samples with skin scrapes and pass them as clear. And this way I know that they're good, as opposed to having to nuke them with meds.
And so you didn't have a vet last time?
I did not. It just started about 2 months ago. Do necropsies on fish that died, why they die, and we need to know that. That's been helpful.
Yeah, so helpful.
So helpful, yeah.
You're gonna potentially, are you still gonna do the discus tank for there?
One day when the other projects are done, maybe, yes.
May as well add one more to the
You
list.
want to go to the koi system? Now the plans on this deck, by the way, as we're walking up, is to make this a covered
Oh, you're gonna
indoor,
cover this?
outdoor, kitchen, fireplace, like this, and it's gonna come up to this grade here. So now you'll look up over the ponds in the back,
Oh, that would be beautiful.
and there'll be a path to the ponds.
It seems like smoky, hey?
So the
like
pond
smart.
was gonna go from like here, out this way, the 2 ponds. The plumbing and filtration under the driveway towards that dollhouse. That's sort of the plan right now.
So you're gonna dig under.
Yeah, but it's asphalt. We'll just chop up the asphalt. Yeah.
But can we show the photo on your phone as well of
Yes.
the pond? Yeah, we'll show it for reference so you guys can visualize it. So it's going to literally be a pool pond.
Yeah.
I thought at first that you meant like recreational pond, but
Here we go.
no, it's actually like a pool.
And of course, the bottoms will be dark and black and not blue, but that's the way they drew it. And the idea here is my wife wanted glass initially to make it a little more open. The wall is interesting because if I want to cover this with a greenhouse and a permanent cover, I can use this as footings
Okay.
and build a glass thing over this with windows
Oh.
indoor, outdoor. So I don't need to put bubbles up in the winter. But that requires additional cubic volume, which would need approval.
Yeah, you've got to get approval for everything.
Exactly.
And so these other koi ponds, we showed them last time as well. So these ones are out the front.
Yep.
And I think last time you were doing something with the filter with one of them.
Yeah, I put a separate bead filter in.
Yeah.
We put a rotary, we put a Baki shower in, one of those huge drip Baki showers. We really over-filtered this water. But at the end of the day, the bowl-shaped pond with a liner, you just limit your gallons as opposed to vertical walls. So
Yeah, true.
we've already outgrown this already. You can see the little bit of green, murky water.
You don't notice it that much.
No, he just turned the UV on yesterday and it will be off by Sunday again because we're going to treat him with fluke stuff again.
And honestly, I don't even mind green water in a pond. I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
It's only in a fish tank where it doesn't look as nice.
Yeah,
'cause you wanna see through
usually
it.
you can see the bottom.
These koi are so gorgeous.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
That one with the orange,
Yeah.
that's gorgeous. I've never seen one like that.
Yeah.
These are the biggest koi I've ever seen too.
Yeah, that's why we don't have to worry about like blue herring and animals because these things are so huge.
Oh yeah.
And the vet has done injections on fish for bacterial infections. Having the vet scrape these things and knowing exactly what's going on is a big deal.
Yeah. I would 100% want to have a vet if I had fish like this. Do you have a favorite koi in here?
Yeah, I think it's more like my saltwater tank, ones you can't get anymore. Probably the favorite ones are not here. They're at the farm
Right.
where
oh,
that
yeah.
tournament is going to be.
You have like one that looks like a cow.
Yeah,
It's got
by the way,
spots.
that one, the cow one,
Yeah.
has won an award for youngster.
Yeah.
We went to a young koi show that the fish had to be 26 inches or below. And we brought him and he won something.
That's cool.
Best Deutsche or something. We were very much considering retrofitting it. And then I'm saying, what am I doing? I'm going to make the same mistake I did here
Yeah.
with not vertical walls. And then we could have built vertical walls there, but it belongs to be gun-eyed. Like they deserve to be in the back where they can be seen.
Yeah, because that happens, I guess, because you've got such a big property when
Right.
you've got them here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is kind of far away from the house. So this tank's new.
This tank's new, but I got nothing to show you because the lights were on all night and the anemones were freaking out. So, but usually the anemones are out and it's really beautiful. Yeah, when this tank is ready, you won't see any rock. It will be loaded with anemones and clowns, and we'll get another harem.
I think this is going to look amazing. This is one of my favorite tanks out of all of them, even though it doesn't have anything in it. So
You
that's
can
a good
tell that
sign.
the scape is going to be interesting enough that, yes, and it's going to be a lot of open space too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Andrew,
So
for showing
welcome,
me around.
Katie. Anytime.
I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone viewing will appreciate it as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's so generous. of
Katie's
you.
got a great channel.
Thank you, and so do you. So Polar Reef.
She's got great cichlids.
So
You'll have to come back
I'm
to
just gonna
check
have
out
to
the
come
progress.
back. I'm just gonna have to.
I really think like 9 more months to a year. I know it sounds 9 months to a year sounds like a long time, but I think all the reef tanks will be done and the koi pond will probably be done also.
And so if you guys appreciate seeing this type of thing as well, make sure you subscribe to the channels too. It makes a really big difference, and if you like what Andrew's doing too, that can show your support. When I don't know if you've ever looked at your analytics, but when you look at them, it'll be like 80 or 90% of people that viewed the video aren't actually subscribed.
Right.
So it's worthwhile getting that account and subscribing as well, because it means a lot. It's a really good way to show support. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there.
Good to see
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you too.